Our next guest, because we are dedicated to sharing the success of entrepreneurship, is Kathryn Soderberg of Soderberg Insurance Services, where Kathryn was just a recent winner of the Warren Group's 2014 Outstanding Woman in Family Businesses, which was also co-sponsored by the Family Business Association. With that long introduction, welcome, Kathryn.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
To be here.
So why don't you tell us first about Soderberg Insurance?
Well, Soderberg Insurance Services was actually, as you know, a family-owned business. I'm second generation. Started in my parents' basement of their modest single-family home in Linfield about 48 years ago, actually. And when I was a kid, when you are in a family business, you're kind of always involved in the business. My very first job was stuffing envelopes, licking envelopes, helping out with the family business and whenever when I could.
You didn't have one of those little white rollers that you put this
Not back in the day. No, not when I was in junior high.
My father had me with those little thing because I didn't want to lick them. So
and I tell you,
you can't lick 1,000 envelopes a day. That's a lot of
insurance.
licking.
We send out a lot of mail too.
That was a lot of licking.
Way before email, definitely.
Wow. So you've done every job.
I have. I've done everything in the business, and I didn't think, Jeff, that I really even wanted to be in the insurance business. I've always loved languages, and when I was in school, I thought I was going to be a translator for the United Nations. I thought maybe I'd be a professor in secondary, higher education, university level. But I realized when I was in graduate school, after I finished my master's and started my PhD in Romance languages, that my career would be very limited if I were in academia.
Romance languages. I'm sorry,
Yes.
that's a sidebar I have to go down.
Sure.
What is a PhD in Romance languages?
They pretty much.
Are you a romantic?
There's romance languages and there's romantics.
So what's
I'm a
the
little bit of each.
definition? I'd never heard that before.
There's language groups,
Right.
and the Romance languages are based on Latin. So
French,
Spanish. Italian,
Spanish.
Spanish are the most well-known.
Oh, now I understand
Dalmatian.
it.
There's a few other Romance languages.
Right.
Portuguese.
So German's not a Romance
Correct.
language.
It's a Germanic
Russian's
language.
not a
That's
Romance
exactly right.
language. English is not a Romance
but
language.
If you know one Romance language, it's very easy to pick up the other ones because they're all related. So I thought I was pretty good at languages, but it's very humbling. As the game of golf is very humbling. You think you're pretty good, and then there's always people that are better than you. And I realized that for many reasons that I wasn't going to go down that path.
And I assume there's something about studying Romantic languages that actually became
Romance
language that's practical in your application of work at some degree, that was transferable.
No question.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that sets us apart as an independent agency is certainly, and I think maybe one of the reasons we were selected as Outstanding Woman in Family Business, is that we have a very strong niche in the Hispanic community. I was able to take that love of language that I mentioned earlier and combine it with my business skills that I learned from growing up in a family business, and we're now a leading agency in the Hispanic community. Over 40% of our clients are Hispanic. Myself and two other staff workers, account reps in the office, are fluent in Spanish. We use it all day long. I dabble with the other languages, but my Spanish is the same as my English because I'm using it all day long. I lived internationally, and I'm blessed to be able to use it every day in business to help people with their businesses and help them protect their assets.
Well, so yeah, I think that clearly you're a person who's very sensitive to group dynamics, social dynamics, and that comes into play with your business.
It's very important, and I think I think I have to lead by example, but also sensitize our staff to the special differences of each culture. We're like the United Nations, actually. We have so many different nationalities that do business with us. It's not just the Hispanic. Of course, that's certainly the dominant minority that does business with us, but we have many, many different cultures that come to us, and working with different cultures, it's so good for business because they are very tight. And if someone comes to you who's from Ethiopia and he's happy with you and he's happy with your service, what I think your listeners might want to learn from my experience as far as like working with the ethnic groups, because it is a radio show for entrepreneurs, the best thing that has come from the whole experience in working with the Hispanics is really learning how to kind of embed yourself with the centers of influence. The people that have really helped my business, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back to.
No, I like this.
I think it would be of value to your listeners to learn that how they can grow their business, and maybe learn from my experience, is to get yourself visible in the community. Of course, that carries over in all businesses, but really get yourself well known with the centers of influence.